Hey, what's up everyone? MonadoMax here. And today, we're talking about the pink pluff himself, Kirby. Now, obviously, the Kirby series has somewhat been represented onto the Nintendo Switch. Maybe not the way that people wanted. We obviously got Kirby Star Allies. We also had Kirby, Kirby Fighters 2 recently came out onto the Nintendo Switch late last year. And here we are at the 30th anniversary of Kirby, and we still haven't really gotten that wow Kirby game, that special Kirby game that everyone's talking about. Today's video, I'm going to be telling you my predictions slash expectations for the Kirby 30th anniversary this year. Crazy to think that Kirby's been around for 30 years and the amount of games we've gotten for Kirby. I know some people might think, well, maybe Nintendo's not gonna do much for Kirby. It's kind of one of their less popular franchises. It's still popular, but you get what I'm saying. And to that, I totally understand what you're coming from. I'm not saying they're gonna go out and be like, brand new Kirby collection. However, they did release a Kirby collection for the Nintendo Wii. Was it for his 20th anniversary? Yeah, it was for the 20th anniversary. Granted, I don't think that's what we're happening here, but I do think we're going to see Nintendo support the anniversary this year, along with their other franchises that are happening this year, like Zelda. We know it's Zelda's 35th anniversary, but today's Kirby. You already know how I feel about the Zelda anniversary. So, MonadoMax, what are you thinking is going to happen? Well, guys, I am going to tell you exactly what I believe is going to end up happening. Alright, well, let's jump back in time. The Kirby developers have already said they've been working on a brand new Kirby game. I believe they've been hyping this up since 2019, and they probably started working on this new Kirby game immediately after they were done with this and the free DLC, which I don't think they supported this game that long. I might be wrong about that. Apologies if I am. However, the Kirby team's been working on this brand new Kirby game for a very long time. And they've been hyping it up, saying this is going to be the best thing ever. I think the best way to release this is to release it for the anniversary, considering it's been over 3 years since we've gotten this game. We have Kirby Fighters 2. We did also get Kirby Team Clash. I forgot about that. I didn't play that one though. Back to what I was saying on what they're going to be doing for Kirby. I believe we are going to be seeing a 3D mainline Kirby game. Fully 3D, not 2D, 3D. It's going to be fully 3D open Kirby game. The reason why I believe that is if you go into the code of Kirby Fighters 2, a lot of people that go into codes for video games have found this out. When the game was released, there was a lot of code talking about a Kirby 3D game, a lot of templates, all of that good stuff. I think that makes sense, especially since of how the Kirby team's hyping this game up, saying it's going to be the best thing ever. I feel like making the best thing ever is trying to do something original in their eyes, and I think the next best thing for Kirby is to go 3D. I believe that's going to be what the mainline Kirby game is going to be this year. If it doesn't come out this year, which I don't know, I would think they would do this since it's the anniversary of Kirby. I guess it's possible we could be seeing it next year, because the Nintendo's got a lot of games that they have to publish this year, and putting a Kirby game, especially something else I'm going to be talking about in this video, in the scheduling of Nintendo, they got a lot to release. They have a lot on their plate. Some of this stuff's going to be going into 2022, so I don't know if they would actually release a Kirby game, because their second half, with everything I know, it's going to be difficult to release all these games all in 1 year. So what I'm trying to say is, don't be surprised if we don't see this Kirby game till next year. Because if you think about it, I guess it makes sense. However, that's not all that I think is going to be happening for Kirby this year. I believe we are going to get a Kirby spin-off game developed by Ubisoft. Yes, this might be a weird pick that I am saying. Few years ago, I believe it might have been 2019 or it might have been 2020. I don't remember. there was a lot of articles saying that Ubisoft got the rights to Kirby and they've been developing a Kirby game. Now, I can't find any more of these articles. A lot of your popular Nintendo sources covered this. I searched this and I can't find the articles anymore. I don't know what that means. I don't know if they were forced to take it down. I don't know what Ubisoft did. But a lot of leakers said that this was happening too in that timeline when all these articles come out. And I know a lot of people are going to be like, what about Mario Rabbids sequel? I personally don't think a Mario and Rabbids sequel's in development. I think the team that did that game is doing a Kirby game. And I believe it's with a crossover franchise of Ubisoft. And I'm going to say it's Rayman. I believe, and the reason why I say Rayman, I'm pretty sure Ubisoft realizes that people wanted a Mario and Rayman crossover, but they did Rabbids anyways. And I know Rabbids is a Rayman character, but let's be real, if you found out that Ubisoft was developing a Mario game, everyone would have said Rayman. And I think Ubisoft likes doing these weird crossovers that don't make sense, that end up being really good, because that's exactly what Mario and Rabbids was. No one wanted that as a crossover, and somehow it just ended up working perfectly. Gameplay-wise, story-wise, everything. I think they're going to do the same thing with Rayman. I think no one's going to want a Kirby Rayman crossover, and then it's going to get announced, and no one's going to like it, and then when it comes out, it's actually a masterpiece game. I feel like Nintendo and Ubisoft are working on another crossover title due to the huge success that Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle was. And maybe it's another sequel to that game, but I feel like they're going to want to do more titles. We've seen how Ubisoft's done another crossover with Nintendo, that being Starlink and Star Fox, which worked so perfect and the response to that was so high. I think Nintendo's going to continue this Ubisoft relationship. It makes so much sense, and it makes sense for Kirby just because it's his anniversary. I feel like if Nintendo was to give away another IP, I think Kirby just makes sense because there's a lot of spin-offs that they do for Kirby sometimes. I mean, we've seen more spin-offs for Kirby on the Nintendo Switch than we have mainline games for Kirby on the Nintendo Switch. We have one mainline Kirby game for the Switch and 2 spin-off Kirby games for the Switch. I think everything adds up. I want to know what you guys are thinking on that. Do you think I'm just tinfoil Max is just going a little bit too crazy? Because I feel like if you add all this stuff up, the fact I can't find any more articles on this Kirby game, I think it makes sense. I really think it makes sense. I want to go back more to about the Kirby 3D game. I'm just making a wild prediction now. I believe that game's going to be heavily focused on online. It seems like Nintendo wants Kirby to be more focused on the multiplayer side and make it online. We saw with the last 2 Kirby spin-off games how it was heavily focused on multiplayer on online. I still believe the Kirby 3D game is going to have a single-player story, and the main thing will be single-player, but the optional multiplayer online I think is going to be there. It looks like Nintendo's interest in online multiplayer games continue to go up, as we can see with Super Mario 3D World, Monster Hunter Rise, although that's a Capcom. They still paid for it to be exclusive, that's my whole point. They're paying a lot of money for multiplayer games, especially online. So that's just another tinfoil theory to go on with this Kirby 3D game. In terms of other stuff for Kirby this year, I'm not expecting too much more. I think 2 titles is all we're going to get. Maybe that 3D Kirby game coming next year, or this Ubisoft. I feel like Ubisoft is developing another Nintendo crossover, whether that's Kirby and Mario Rabbids. We're going to hear about Kirby this year. I'm pretty confident we are going to be hearing about Kirby this year. In terms of other projects, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw like an animated Kirby thing announced, just because that's a great franchise to be used in the whole animation scene. I'm not expecting collection. I'm not expecting anything else. Maybe some clothes. Maybe like, because Nintendo likes making clothes, all that good stuff. I think that's it for Kirby though. This is more going to be a sideline thing, and they're not going to probably advertise that it's the Kirby 30th anniversary that much. But I guess we'll see. we will definitely see, because we're going to be hearing about all this stuff pretty soon, what's happening, because E3 is approaching us, guys. E3 is in less than 2 months, and we're going to be hearing about some of these titles at E3. I am 100% sure on that. Well, guys, I've been talking for way too much. I want to know what your predictions for Kirby is this year. Are you expecting anything that I just said? And I definitely want to know if you guys like my whole Ubisoft theory, because I'm very confident that this game is a thing. You know what? Assassin's Kirby. If they don't want to do Rayman, what about Assassin's Creed and Kirby? That is a joke. However, that would be pretty funny if they did that. Ubisoft, please pay me. I'm giving you so many great ideas. Although that's not like a great idea. Anyone could have come up with that. Anyways, I will see you guys in the next video. Make sure to backslash that subscribe button, like the video, check me out on Twitter, and check out our Discord server. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.